How's it going, everybody? Right then, so you want to learn how to make a Cornish pasty, and I don't blame you, because they are so good and easy to make, and very traditional. Goes back a long way. In fact, the Old English for pasty was hoggen, and coming out of hoggen came oggy. So the pasty sellers down that way on, they would shout oggy oggy oggy, and the sailors or the tin miners around that wanted to purchase a pasty, they would shout oi oi oi, and that's where it comes from. So there you go, there's a little something you've learnt today. Right then, what will you need to make a Cornish pasty? So, plain flour, butter, couple of potatoes, a swede. Now there's another thing about Cornwall. Down that way they call a swede a turnip. Yeah, there you go. And a turnip. Now, traditionally, you wouldn't have a turnip in a pasty. I like to put turnip in because it just adds that little bit of extra flavour. And a swede and a turnip complement themselves so much. So that's optional. You don't have to, but I am. Totally up to you. Onion, lard, 1 egg. All should become clear later on. It's just be it for an egg wash, actually. Pepper, salt, and traditionally a pasty would have beef skirt, although you can use beef mince if you want to. No one's going to be knocking down your door and arresting you for using beef mince. It's absolutely fine, works just as good. So let's get this started. The flour. Now I'm not going to bore you with, oh, it's 500, 400 grams of half of this and half of that. No, let's keep things simple, shall we? So everyone's got a pint glass in their cupboard, haven't they? Yes, they have. So in there is 2 pints of flour. There, boom. How easy is that? 2 pints of flour. So let's make the pastry first, then we'll cut up the veg, and then let's get the party started, shall we? So we're going to do the pastry first. So we've got your 2 pints of flour. See, keep it simple, 2 pints of flour. Next you're going to need your lard. So you need a couple of strips, like so, wafer thin. In fact, I'll probably put about 3 in there. Lovely. Pop that to one side. Salt. A dash of salt, like so. Keep it easy. That's probably about dessert spoon, level dessert spoon of salt. At a guess, but dash of salt anyway. And butter. So you get your spoon. There you go. Nice heaped blob of butter. And in that goes. Now, you can, if you want to, get in there with your hands and, you know, bring it all together till it all comes to look like breadcrumbs. However, let's do the quick way. I use a whisk. Go around just as good, doesn't matter. So whilst I'm whisking, because I don't want to deafen you all, and then we'll get to the actual dough making. So here we go. Catch you in a minute. And I'm back. How quick was that? Okay, that's done. All whisked up, nice and fine. Lovely. So let's make the dough. So first of all, this is when it gets nice and messy. Oh yes, the good bit. Okay, so we get some cold water. Just pour a bit of cold water in there. Not a great deal. and we're going to bring that together, and we're going to gradually add the water to it. We have got some flour there should we need it, but let's just get in there, shall we? Oh yes. Mix it all up, squeeze it together, and it will eventually start to make a very, very nice dough. Very therapeutic this is, you know. That's going to need just a drop more water. Let's say just gradually, no rush, and bring it all together. Until you've got a very nice dough. As you can see, it's starting to come together very, very nicely now. Doesn't take long, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get this dough done, and then onto the veg. Okay, so now it's time for the veg. Let's get the veg all chopped up, shall we? Yes, indeed. Now, you don't want massive chunks of veg because it's no good for the pasty whatsoever, at all. You want thin strips, little. I'll show you. Oh, nice. Hear the clock in the background. Pop that there, just so I can show you. Are you with me so far? Good. And again, yet again, you don't have to be a master chef. And that is what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Little dice. Look at that. Lovely. And you're going to do the same with the turnip and the potatoes. Exactly the same. With the onion, finely chop the onion. Get that as fine as you can. And that's what you need to do. And then pop everything in a bowl, and that will be our quick next little stage. So whilst I'm chopping, go and stick the kettle on, or stick with me. And we'll get it done. Chopped, all done. So time for the seasoning. First of all, the pepper. A good dash of pepper. I do like a little bite to the pasty, as it should be actually. So that's probably about 3 teaspoons for what veg is in there. And a good dash of salt. That's probably same, about 3 teaspoons of salt. Get in there and mix it up. The fun bit again. And then we'll just pop this to the side. There's just something about making pasties that I really like, because having family down that way, well, Plymouth to be precise, to go and visit my aunt, and she, those that might click on the video from down that way on, in the market hall in Plymouth, there used to be a bakery called Adams, and my auntie owned that. But going to Lou and Paul Perro, there's especially in Loo, Cornwall. There's a little pasty place down on the dock front there, and years, I mean, I dare say it's still going now. Only a little tiny little place, and the smell when you walk past that is just absolutely and it's just one of them things. It just brings back just so many memories of holidays down there. And yeah, so making pasties has got that little something for me. So I pop that to one side. Now the meat. As I say, this is beef skirt, which is what was traditionally used, although you can use minced beef if you want to. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. So I'm just going to cut this up into small cubes, strips, straight the way through, and I'll chop them again so they're nice and fine, because you don't want massive chunks of beef. You know, everything's sort of got to be the same size and texture, you know. So if I just cut that, you see what I mean. Again, get little pieces, and that's what you're after, that's what you need. The good stuff. Nice piece of meat as well, beef skirt. Really is. Very, very tasty. Very, very tasty. And there you go. So I'll finish cutting that off, and we'll get on to the main event then, indeed. So here we go. Let's start putting everything together. So first of all, you're going to need your dough, your flour, a fork, small plate, and your rolling pin. There's a few lads out there that have seen one of these coming towards them in the early hours, I tell you. Yes, indeed. In fact, a bloke come home 3 o'clock in the morning. He was drunk as a skunk. His wife is stood behind the back of the door, staring at him, rolling pin in hand. He says, you're not baking this out, are you, love? Anyway, let's get this done, shall we? Let's get this done. Pull a chunk of dough off, pop it on there, and let's roll it out. You're going to have to stick with me on this one, folks, because we're going to put a pasty together. It's me and you. So with the pasty, you don't want the pastry too thick, and obviously you don't want it too thin, because when you fold it over, it'll split, and we don't want that, do we? No, we don't. Yet again, it's one of them nice therapeutic things. I do enjoy it. I do. That's about right. That's about nice. Okay. Now you probably guess what's going to come next, haven't you? Ta-da! Let's get my knife, my kniffy. Put that up there. Cut around there. Dum, 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 dum. That'll go in there. Ready for the next one? Okay, there you go. There's your base. Lovely. Okay, now for the veg. Get yourself a nice scoop and just place it. Not too much, because obviously don't forget you've got to do that fold. A little bit more, I think. And now for the meat. Pop the meat on. And what you need to pop on the top of there is a little bit of butter, because they call that the gravy. So if I just get a little bit of butter out of here and put a little bit there, a little bit there, and a little bit there. Okay, remember me telling you about that egg? Well, this is what you're going to do. You're going to make yourself an egg wash, which is 1 egg and a little bit of water. And this will come in handy after as well, because we're going to coat the top of the pasties before they go in the oven. So I'm just going to go around the edge of that, and that'll create a nice seal for us. So pop that all around there, and now we are going to fold it over. There we go. Don't worry if bits and pieces do come out. It'll happen, but once you've got that initial seal around the edges, it'll stay in place. Like so. Just use your fingers just to create that. Now, back in the day, the tin miners would have a great big crust around there, and that's what they used to hold on to, because you can imagine, being a miner, the hygiene those days wasn't particularly fantastic. They wasn't washing their hands before they chomped on their food. So their wives and the pasty makers of the time would put a great big crust around there so the lads could hold on. Now, what they did with that crust then, they used to throw them into the mine, into a corner of a mine. And they did that because of superstition. And it was little creatures in Cornish folklore called the knockers or spriggans. And before the mine collapsed, or a mine was going to collapse, that's what they would hear. And of course, down the mine would come. So that's the last thing you want to hear. So to make sure that didn't happen, and out of superstition, they would throw their crust down the mine. But we're not going to do that today, so that's why we're going to use the fork. So we're just going to create that nice seal going right round the pasty, like so. And there you have it. There's your pasty. And just to finish off, get your fork at the top so the steam can escape. And we'll pop that on the baking tray and we'll do another one. Like so. Look at that. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely. So, let's get to making some more. And I'll see you at the last stages. Yes, we will. And here we are. There's the pasties. Ready for the oven. Well, not quite ready for the oven, because what we're going to do, with that egg wash, we're just going to go over the top. There you go. Lovely. And once you've done these, that can go in the oven. It's going to be about gas mark 170 for about 45 minutes, thereabouts, till they're nice and golden brown. And when they come out, then I'll get a little bit of melted butter and just coat them, pretty much like what I'm doing now, except with melted butter. And that is that. Fantastic. Okay, in the oven they can go. Oh, there we go. And that's that for the time being. And here we are. Let's do this. Wow. Oh, those smell absolutely amazing. I say, it's just that smell of a pasty that just brings up so many memories. They look absolutely fantastic and they smell gorgeous. Right then, as I said, a little bit of melted butter just to finish them off. Oh, my mouth is drooling. Wow. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. And if you've enjoyed it too, please give me a thumbs up. Or even better, click that subscription button. That would mean the world to me. Because there will be lots and lots and lots more content coming to you soon. I assure you, we're going to be doing lots of stuff. Whether it be in the kitchen or at the grill outside. There'll be loads of things coming your way. And I don't want you to miss it. So yeah, wow, look at that. There you go folks, the Cornish pasty. Now it's your turn. Catch you later.